Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another installment of Lyles Figure Files. I have got my new G.I. Joe t-shirt, which means we're going to talk G.I. Joe on what is very likely the final installment of Lyles Figure Files for 2021. The crack investigative team over at histank.com uncovered 4 Walmart listings of G.I. Joe retro figures. Very exciting. But even more so was the fact that they weren't the normal 3/4 inch figures, but rather 6-inch figures, $22.99. So you know that's the classified series, which means we're about to see some classified series figures getting the retro card treatment, probably more in line with the real American hero designs. That's great news. Very exciting. Now, there are 4 that were listed on Walmart's computers. So far, the only ones that we know for sure are Mars and Rocket, which, based on previous figures, are the code names for Lady J and Baroness. Now, those are interesting choices. You can still pretty much walk into any store and find Lady J, but I would argue that Lady J is one of the best figures we've gotten from Hasbro, period, in 2021. They engineered her so well with that really cool hair replacement deal where you can swap out and get the long hair or the short hair, or you can swap it out and get the hat version with the hair peeking out underneath. Now, the hair peeking under the hat wasn't quite as long as I would have liked, but otherwise really good. Absolutely tremendous execution on that, and a very cool 2-in-1 situation. There's 2 other listings, so there's a couple more figures that we don't know. No code names, so we're not sure who they are as of yet. I'm going to break down some possible candidates in a second. But I started thinking, what's Hasbro done so far with this retro line? And I was excited and kind of like, what will they do with this thing? Because we've gotten interesting takes like this version of Duke. You see the retro card. It's not quite the classic old school. The guns are above him, and sometimes they were to the side, so it wasn't so much of a cylinder as this retro card setup is. I don't really like that so much because it just feels like there's too much plastic here and not enough just focus on the figure and just like the cool back with the black in the background there. We've got the explosion burst, but it feels like that red with everything kind of focusing on Duke takes away from the overall package presentation. So, and I also hate that head sculpt because it's just the yelling one. You know, it's weird because they never really cranked out a great definitive version of a real American hero take on Duke with any of these lines, with the 25th anniversary, with the original 5-pack that got this whole thing rolling way back in the day, or the Pursuit of Cobra, where they were cranking out amazing versions of characters like Airtight, Barbecue. They're just like definitive versions of these guys, right? We didn't get that with Duke. And so for this retro line, it was just like, let's throw in the best version we've got. I'd argue this is not just because of that head sculpt, but the other one had a really soft head sculpt and looked way too young and too childish compared to the more modern figures. So this was the best alternative. But you see the problems with that yelling sculpt. It only really works in action poses. You can't sit around at Joe headquarters. Hey, Flint, get over here. Roadblock, where's the meal? So it just doesn't work as well. But I do like the fact we got the classic gun from the cartoon and his regular smaller pistol. But not my favorite figure. They put the strap harness from the jetpack, which is also weird because that came with the G.I. Joe movie set. And it's just a weird design, weird look, and not my favorite. Hardly a good start for that G.I. Joe 3/4 inch retro line. And then we had Lady J, which was an improvement. This figure, again, has that cylinder issue, so it's taking up too much. This time they're going with blue as the dominant color, but it does showcase Lady J nicely. I had that figure previously in a 2-pack with Lady J and the Baroness in one of those really, really good 2-packs that we got from Toys R Us right before the end of Toys R Us in the G.I. Joe 3/4 inch line at that time. She didn't have as many accessories, but a really nice figure, and I thought they did a really good job with it. So this was a good indication of what is possible. You notice the hat doesn't have the same logo, same detail, but this was something that was encouraging. Like, okay, if you do this with 3/4 retro figures, I'm on board. That wasn't always the case though. And so it was this issue of, are we going to get a good figure like Lady J or more like Duke? So then we had Roadblock, and Roadblock really answered the question for me. It was like, okay, if this is what we're getting, I'm not down for this retro line. Now, Roadblock has a great head sculpt, but of course, you see he's got that long beard thing. It kind of looks like my man from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., not so much Marvin Hinton. And the shirt is all wrong. He's not wearing an ammo vest with pouches. He should be wearing a tank top camouflage shirt. So that was another issue where it was like, what are you guys doing? The machine gun isn't quite right. He doesn't have the stand to hold the machine gun like the figure should have. And he's got knee pads where he should just have regular pants that are orange and not this dramatically military khaki orange. So not my favorite. Definitely something I was not excited about with the retro line, because it's like, I really do need a tall, towering, big version of Roadblock. This figure is basically a repaint of the Dwayne Johnson version of Roadblock, ironic, repainted to look more like Roadblock with the ammo belt, but it's not what I want out of a retro version. You see the card back here just shows all the issues. It's, hey, where's the camo shirt? Where is the harness with a grenade, the knife? Where's the knife on this left or right leg? And there's knee pads. Why are there knee pads here? So it's just, there are too many compromises to get this figure out. And it made me feel like this was not the best execution for this line. And I was just kind of thinking, if this is what they're going to give us, then I don't know if I'm really excited about a 3/4 inch retro line. Snake Eyes also is revealed, and he didn't excite me either, because you see clearly that's Commando Snake Eyes 100% all the way. Like, there's no mistaking that. And it's like, hey, this is the first version of Snake Eyes. So when everybody was getting their Joes, hey, what's this one character in all black? Oh, cool, I want him because he looks different. He stands out from everybody. What we have here is this really odd hybrid version where it's a little bit of Ninja, version 2, a little bit of old school Commando. You see he's got the turtleneck. That's great. But he lacks the harness. He's instead has a parachute harness, which is so weird. He's actually got the straps there hanging below his waist. I think this came with the Ripcord figure or Hit and Run, but definitely not with Snake Eyes. It's just so weird. And it's so detailed. There's so much stuff. And I know it's odd to complain about details, but there's something cool about the smoothness of this original Commando outfit. Just 2 pockets on the side, one on the arm, and the signature G.I. Joe harness, which so many of those 1983 characters had. It does have his Uzi, but we've got these swords that don't work. We do have the ammo pouch harness that he's got there, but it was weird. This figure is something I could really use in my 3/4 inch line set, because as you see here, from the amazing retro Stalker and Grunt, those guys are perfect. They re-released those or put them out this year. I really loved how those figures turned out. You see how badly they make the rest of those figures look. Flash and Zap kind of hold out okay, but Scarlet, Snake Eyes, Shorty Snake Eyes, and Breaker look bad. And I love to get all the original 13 with this new articulated body, the proper Joe harness with the grenade, the knife on the other side of the harness. And that's really all I want. So I'm hoping we see more retro figures in the classified series, more like Grunt and Stalker, and less like some of those questionable ones like Roadblock, Duke, and Snake Eyes. So that got me thinking, what are the possibilities for a retro series of classified series figures? We've only got about 31 figures so far, give or take a few repaints. What are the best options for this line? So let's take a look at those possibilities right now. First up, Joe Leader number 2, Duke. This figure got me so excited about the classified series line. I was so hyped when we saw those promotional photos. I was like, this is great. 6-inch version of Duke. It looks great. I don't like all the colors, but I'm okay with it. But I think if we're going for a retro version that tends to skew a little bit closer to the Real American Hero designs, Duke is a pretty easy one to do, where People aren't going to be upset about having to chalk up money to get another Duke, because there's small fixes that make this figure the classic one. So you can see here the dark green on the top of the shirt. That's different. If we just go classic old school, no color change whatsoever, maybe they roll the sleeves up a little bit higher so they're above the elbow and not below. That would be a good way to go. Dish the gloves. You know, we've got some figures without gloves, and we can just replace those. The belt is fine. Maybe throw in, you know, just those binoculars. That would be cool. The backpack, of course. But this Duke is a really simple, really clean figure. All it needs is a little repainting, dump in the gloves, and I think he'd be a really good Classified Series retro figure and a really good choice to kick that line off, in addition to Baroness and Lady J. Next up is Gung-Ho, and Gung-Ho is the one figure in this line that is probably my least favorite. No, he's my least favorite. I just didn't like the color scheme. It's too drab olive. Didn't love the tattoo. He's too big. His head is massive. He's the same height as Roadblock, which I don't like. I want him to be a little bit shorter. This figure, another of those 2-pack ones, is exactly what I want. So maybe we fix the mustache up a bit, because you see it's not quite like that. It's got some handlebar action. I want this short one. I mean, there's something about this take of Gung-Ho that just really speaks to me. And definitely we need the aqua marine colors, the turquoise, the dark green camo, not this drab olive. We need something bright, because Gung-Ho stood out among the Joes. He was kind of tall, kind of big, and did not care that he was running around shirtless. And I think this figure, the Classified Series version we got, is a little bit too realistic. Like, they were trying to tone him down a little and not make him so out there. But I think the charm of Gung-Ho is he just doesn't care. So we get a backpack that's a little bit more compact. Fix the hat. The hat's another problem that just needs an overhaul. So like with Gung-Ho, repaint him, change the vest up a little bit. That's not the biggest issue I have. So if that was a compromise to just keep, I'm okay with that. But he needs a new head sculpt with a better hat that more accurately reflects this card back look, because he's going to be one that if they try to throw this image on there next to a figure that doesn't match up, it's just basically a quick repaint, not going to quite work. But this version, if we get this in a Classified Series line, I think this could dramatically change my take on Gung-Ho. Again, dump the gloves, dump those elbow pads, dump the wrist communicator, just trash all that. Simplify the look, go with this. I'll be very happy, very content to get Gung-Ho, and will happily trade him out. So that way I can have a 6-inch version of perfection like this figure, which is one of my favorites of my 3/3/4 inch modern G.I. Joe collection. Next up, I feel like this is a no-brainer, but why not? Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes, I think, is a really, really easy figure for Hasbro. He makes money, so why not include him? We can always sell Snake Eyes figures, and we can tweak a little bit of this design to go more in line with the classic Commando Ninja version 2. And that's basically maybe going with this midnight black blue. I like this setup from the comic, and I think if they even did the shading, it would be cool. Otherwise, just go flat black and make those pouches gray. So with this Classified Series version, everything was black, and it's okay. I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, I get it. But with this color, with the gray, it really helps him pop, stand out. We've got a Snake Eyes head that I can pull up because my figure just arrived. Very happy about this. You all, of course, didn't hear all of that. But I got my Zartan set with Snake Eyes. I just saw this little wheel, so I'm just spinning it for no reason. But I've got a ninja head Snake Eyes with the appropriate visor that's silver, which would be great because I can replace this black version from the Classified Series line. We can just fix that. I'm not really bothered by that masked setup with the little point, but if they wanted to go with a new one, I think Snake Eyes clearly is worth the effort to do. That will work really well. So he seems like such a no-brainer that I will be shocked if we don't see him in the retro card line very soon. Now, another choice is Firefly. Firefly is a really solid, great figure. The only problem is that torso is so bothered by that flak jacket. I think if they just dumped that, and I know from the classic hardback art, you won't really see it, but he had this cross hatch of straps over his chest, and it really looked cool. Played up the fact that he had grenades, so it was like, this guy is going to blow up a whole bunch of stuff. He's a saboteur Cobra. And this figure has a paint job, so they don't have to do anything with that. They don't really need to do much of anything with this base body. Keep the head sculpt. The head sculpt's great. Just dump this flak jacket, put the straps on, and just put them along the side here across. Make that X pattern. Then we got a retro card Firefly. That would be great. Give him this old school backpack. Give him that machine gun, and we are all set. There's no sculpting that I really need with this guy. I know Firefly had a collar. We won't get that if we take this off, but I would love to see this version in Classified series in a retro line. I love this one. I think they did a really nice job. So this isn't a case of, I can't wait to replace this guy, but I would like a more streamlined version of Firefly as well. All right, so those are the ones that I took photos for. As you can see here, I did bring my snake eyes with that color distinction, which I think really looks cool with him. So you can see how much having a little gray to offset that black really looks. That's a good choice. I'm wondering if this hood mandate has finally been lifted so we can get hooded Cobra Commander. He would be another easy, obvious choice for the Classified line retro series. With Baroness, there's some interesting questions, some interesting possibilities with her. So we have both versions in this. This was the original 5-pack of Cobra figures version of Baroness. And this figure is really good. Very nice homage to the original one. This one's a more modern take. A lot sleeker with that armor. But they can go a lot of ways with Baroness. So we know we've got a Classified series version of her. They can repaint. But I really hope that they fix those elbows. They were really restrictive. She couldn't do a lot of bending because of just how shortened they were because of her gauntlets. And of course, I've shown you Lady J. Maybe what Hasbro does is eliminate the debate and give us one version of Lady J with a hat, without it. Probably with the hat on just because that's what the figure looks like on the card back. Or maybe they just go straight up cartoon and go into that a little bit harder. I'm really curious about the possibilities with this line. I want more Classified series line figures. That is the one that I am most excited about going into 2022. I cannot wait to get Stalker, the Crimson Twins, Dusty, Zorana, etc. So really looking forward to that. Getting my hands on Spirit and Storm Shadow, Croc Master, and Fiona. The whole works. I cannot wait for those guys. Looking forward to it. I also forgot, there is one more figure that I think they could easily make into a Classified series figure on a retro card. That's my man Rock and Roll. I think they could really easily just take one of those breaker figures, the molds we got from him, add on the ammo straps, and paint him blonde, and we've got Rock and Roll. Nice homage to reusing Breaker and Rock and Roll, same figure, just with straps with machine gun bullet straps to make a whole new figure. So maybe that's an option they can go with. I'd love to see it because getting more original 13 figures in Classified series formats, always something I'm down for. And thank you as always for watching. I have loved interacting with everyone who's dropping comments and just saying their thoughts about what they want to see from the Joe line, from Marvel Legends, etc. I cannot wait to come back in 2022 with more videos, more features, more reviews, etc. I'm going to go crank into it even harder. So thank you all for following me and subscribing. I really appreciate it and hope you all have an awesome New Year's Eve and cannot wait to see you back in 2022. For now, this episode of Lyles Figure Files has been filed.